What's up guys, I'm Agent Shadow and this is going to be a fun video. So in this video I'm going to be talking about what I think are the coolest looking weapons in Pixel Gun 3D. Obviously this is 100% opinion, so you might disagree with every single weapon I say, but hopefully that's not the case. So let's get right into it. First we have a very old weapon, the Fatal Melter. This thing used to be half decent. Now it is absolute garbage. It's so sad because look how awesome this thing looks. When it shoots this tiny little gas cloud that does like no damage and is really hard to hit people with. It's so sad because this thing, utter garbage. But to me, it's always been one of the coolest looking weapons in the game. Next up, Arctic Soul Devourer. This thing used to be so amazing. Now it's fine, not great, but the design has always been insanely cool looking. I'm never quite sure what I'm looking at, but whatever it is, it looks pretty sick. Next, we have Controlled Drone System. To me, this looks so awesome. It's such a bummer that this actually sucks. You control where the bullets go, but they're weak, they're slow. It's overall just not good, but it looks so sick. Next up, another weapon that I'm guessing most of you have forgotten. The Hyper Mega Cannon. This thing came out ages ago. When I first saw it, it was like my new favorite weapon, and then I got it and became so disappointed because it is trash. But, I mean, it looks pretty awesome, especially once it's on your hand. Although my skin won't equip. There we go. Now he's holding it. To me, this one looks insane. And after that, we have this Ugly Piggy. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, the Energy Drill, a legendary that used to be really good, but now in the current metas doesn't do anything. But I've always thought it's looking really cool, especially when you charge it up. This one has always been one of my favorites. That's all for the heavy category. Now moving on to snipers. Now to be fair, there are a lot of insanely cool looking snipers, but I'm going to narrow it down to like my 5 favorites. One of those is the Sniper Exoskeleton. This thing is just, I don't know, I love it. The design is epic. Sadly, it's not good anymore, but it used to be insane. Some of you might think I'm going to pick ones like the Deadly Chip or the Hypno Pursuer, but to me, these designs are just trying too hard. They go overkill with all these colors and shapes. Just not my thing. So next for snipers is the Kuber Railgun. To me, this one looks awesome. The lasery feel to it. It's not overly complicated, so it does look pretty cool. And directly following that, we have the Anniversary Anti-Champion Rifle. This is just an incredibly clean looking gun. Now after this, I almost want to say Dreams Warden, but this one's, for me, it's more of like an honorable mention, but not quite in the top tier of sniper designs. What I will give it to, though, is the Deadly Eye Vengeance. I love the look of this thing. I used to use it just because of how it looked. It doesn't actually do that much damage, sadly, but it used to be a decent sniper. Now it's not good, but it does look pretty epic. I know I said like 5 snipers, but I'm definitely going over that, because next we have the Experimental Rifle. This one has always looked really cool to me. And when you're reloading, it has a shield around you, which also looks pretty insane. So this one's another one of my favorites. Now I'm going to go and rule out all veteran weapons because I feel like almost all of them look insane. The Sentence looks epic. The Thermal Ultra Scythe, that one also very clean. But I'm just going to go and rule all those out because I feel like all 6 of those should get some kind of title. As we keep going, I feel like Conductor of Souls and Harsh Punisher both look really good, but they're like honorable mention snipers. They're not quite good enough for me to call them like the best sniper designs. And sadly, I'm not going with skins. Otherwise, this Poisonous Digital Sunrise skin would probably take first place for me. And so the final awesome looking sniper for me is the Super Shot Rifle. It is a very simple design, but I don't know why. I've always thought it looked really, I don't even know the word I'm looking for, but for me, Super Shot Rifle just looks awesome. Alright, and now we're moving on to the specials. Now the specials are kind of all over the place, so it's hard to like have any kind of legitimate judgment at all. There are some weird ones like a Combat Electric Organ, this fan speaker, a book. Like, I don't know where to go from here. So this might be all over the place, but I'm just going to call it like I see it. And first is the Portalium Essence. Again, I don't even know what I'm looking at, but whatever it is, it looks pretty cool. So that one is the first one I'm picking. After that, we have the Supernova Generator. This one looks so good, and it's actually a good weapon in general. So this one's pretty nice. Then we hit Thor's Hammer. This is just awesome. To me, it looks even better than Thor's actual hammer. So this one's up there for me. And then another one that I feel like most people would disagree with, but to me, the Repressor looks awesome. I remember buying this in the gallery for coupons just because of how awesome it looked. It was like 5 years ago, so. And then before I keep going, I want to give a mention to one of the ugliest weapons in the game to me, the Arcade Flamethrower. It's like they picked every ugly color, mashed it up into this like warped gun, and ugh, I don't know. This is just a pretty sad design to me. And then the final special for me that looks really awesome is the laser rings. I used to use these back in like 2018, I think, and they used to be fine. Now, obviously, I haven't seen anyone use these in years because why would you use these? But they do look pretty awesome. And now we have melee weapons. There are some pretty sick looking melee weapons. First up, I love the chipping whip. Got this weapon ages ago. Used to spam it all the time. Now it's really not that good. But to me, it has always looked pretty insane. Another very ugly weapon to me is the pig hammer. Ugly colors, the design's just ugh. To me, never liked this weapon at all. Mainly because of the design. Because as a melee, it's actually not that bad. And now, of course, modern pixel gun weapons are just weird. I don't know what they're like. What is this? What are these? This is just what? Most of the designs, they just try a little bit too hard. So I don't love a lot of the modern stuff. Next up, we have Armored Cuber Power. This thing used to be like the best melee for a while. And it looks insanely awesome. I do kind of just like the cubic stuff. Some of them aren't my favorites, but the Armored Cuber Power design is definitely one of my favorites. Holographic Hook and Saber. I used to really like this one. Now I'm not as much of a fan, and I'm not sure why that is. Then we get to the Mutant Slayer. This one I do like. This one is pretty cool. I'm trying to imagine how this would work in real life, and this would be an insane weapon. And then, of course, the Thermal Ultra Scythe, to me, is one of the slickest weapons in the entire game. But obviously, I already said, I'm not counting any of the veteran weapons because I feel like all 6 of them deserve a place somewhere. I do like the Ninja Sword Pad. For me, it's like an honorable mention where it's almost in the category of the coolest looking, but it's not quite there yet. And for the final melee, we have the Jet Tenderizer. The animation and the spinning for this has always been really cool. I remember like 5 years ago in Arabian Dust, when people would just run at me with this thing, it would be such an intimidating sight. I always got absolutely crushed. Alright, and now backups. I feel like backups overall have the best designs. Like, there are a ton of backups that do look really, really cool. And so we've got Bloody Mercenary, to me, looks awesome. Hypno Hunter, also awesome. Dragon's Heart, awesome. Then, we've got Rusted Revolver, ugly. New Well Pistol, awesome. The Neon Colt, awesome. There's just so many cool looking backups. This one too, Total Dominator. To me, this one looks really, really cool. There are other ones like the Deathbringer, which are like honorable mentions, where it's almost cool, but it's just trying a little bit too hard. I also really do like the Blacklight pistol. This one looks really slick. And the fake pistol, but not the fake pistol skin. This right here. I really do like the look of this weapon. Then if we come down a little bit more, we get the VR blasters. Again, this is one of those weapons I got like 6 years ago purely because of the design. The weapon itself isn't actually that great, but it does look super cool. Headhunter pistols, not bad overall, kind of like an honorable mention. Then we do have Laser Siler. I mean, with the skin, it looks amazing. Without, it still looks really good. But honestly, I like all the skins except maybe this legendary bike skin. This one to me, just not it. But the rest of them look really good. And the final backup for me is the Werewolf. To me, I've always really liked the design of this. It's just like a mediocre backup. Currently, it's not great, but it used to be kind of nice back in its day. Alright, and for the final category, we have primaries. Now, the first one I'm going to mention, Ultimatum. Not only is it the best weapon in the game, I think it's the best looking weapon in the game. Or at least, like, top 3. It might just look really good to me because of how good it is as a weapon. And of course, that does affect your opinion of it, but still, I think it looks like an insanely slick weapon. And I honestly don't like the skins. This skin, ugly. This one's but still kind of ugly. This one's almost good, but not. The only skin I like is the Ultimatum Snowfall skin. The rest, to me, just not really it. Okay, moving on. Okay, Viking. This is an oldie that I used to love. This used to be number 2 back in the day. Before I had Ultimatum, Viking was like the number 2 spot. Now, it's so sad how not even close it is. But I loved the skins for the Viking. Sadly, these don't count. But if they did, Winter Rune skin, oh, so awesome. Okay, we do have the Stormtrooper Exoskeleton. This one does look pretty awesome to me. Then we've got the Secret Access Shotgun. The design on this is really unique, and it's not trying too hard because, like, the shades and colors all work well together. They're not just throwing in 1,000 different things. So to me, this one looks really awesome. Then we hit the Cosmic Geode. How sick does this look? This one, it's so weird. I keep saying this. It's like they're trying too hard, but the way they tried too hard worked. I know that doesn't really make much sense, but to me, this one is also amazing. Moving on, Dragoneer. Actually, it's like an honorable mention because it's just like a block. It really is a rectangle with an X on it. But somehow it works. It just works for the gun. So honorable mention to the Dragoneer. Okay, then we hit the Heavy Elf Crossbow. I love the design for this weapon. Sadly, it sucks. Sometimes on my live streams, I'll try it out just because of how bad it is, but to me, it does look really awesome. And I know I've used that word like 20,000 times this video, but it's okay. We're almost done. All right, then we hit the Rumble. To me, this one looks super... I was about to say awesome. I'm going to switch up my words here. Phenomenal. I'm going to go with phenomenal. Nah, I don't like that word as much, actually. Let's go with sublime. I'm going to go with sublime. For the rest of the video, I'm going to use the word sublime. So, this one, the Rumble looks sublime. It almost looks like it could be a heavy weapon. So, I don't know. This one, to me, just very strong looking. Okay, Blot Shotgun, kind of an honorable mention. It's just almost too, like, I mean, obviously, it's a blob, so it's just sloppy feeling. But, like, the dull gray purple just doesn't quite work for it. If it were more royal of a color, then maybe this would be in the top spot for me. Then we move on. We get some ugly ones, like this one, Trying Too Hard. This one, just so boring. This one, ugly all the way around. But then we hit Neutron Pulsator. Now, the color scheme isn't my favorite, but other than, like, the design of the weapon itself is extremely sublime. So if they could just switch it to like a royal blue with a purple laser or something in the middle, this thing would look absolutely insane. And then for the final weapon of this video, it is all the way... Actually, oh, never mind, not final weapon. One more, Energy Assault Rifle. This one is another one that looks simple, but still looks extremely sublime. This used to be really good back in the day, now extremely outdated, but I've always thought it looked really good. And then, actually, the final weapon now, all the way down here for me, the Mega Gun. This thing actually also was amazing back in the day, and now not so great, but I have always liked the design. It was always just like a modified Sub-Zero. So, thank you for watching. I know this isn't my most informative video, especially since it's all basically just opinion, but I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you guys next video.